So this contract that Pac had you witness between him and David
Mm-hmm.
Kenner, let me see. I'm gonna send it to you. Or unless you know exactly which one I'm talking
I
about,
know.
the
I
contract.
know.
Okay. So, can you take me through this day? What was the entire day like? Did Tupac kind of have to prep you before David Kenner came to the prison, or was it just kind of like on a whim? Like, since you were sitting there, like, hey, Des, I need you to witness this.
Oh, it was definitely because I was there on the visit with him before they even came in, you know.
Okay.
But was it just me? I feel like I don't know if it was his cousin or Gaddafi was there that day too, but he did ask me to sign. But yeah,
Okay. Were you there for any of his other meetings between him, David Kenner, or Suge Knight?
one day I was there when Suge came by himself before David Kenner came with him to sign that contract.
Okay, now when you were around Suge and David Kenner, what was their energy like? Because David Kenner is like a fucking ghost. Like I've always heard his name, but I've never heard his voice. I never heard him say anything. And then we all know Suge Knight's reputation. So from your personal point of view, what did you feel when you were around these two individuals?
I felt like the lawyer was a little slippery. He definitely gave, mob lawyer vibes. um, but Suge, he just was huge. Like I really wasn't trying to like look at him too much. But when he came in the room, like it was like this giant figure, and not just the height, but his energy was big. Um, but he was cool. Like him and Pac was just chopping it up like boys, like they knew each other for a while. Like, I was just sitting there minding as much of my business as I could, trying to stay out their thing because they just came in to deal with what they were dealing with and then they were gonna leave. Me and him were already on the visit and I was gonna be there after they stepped out. But, um, I was more watching the little greasy one. Cause David Kennedy,
David
like,
Kenner.
yeah.
What was it about him that gave you slimy vibes?
I don't
Like,
know. He
did
just
he
gave
say
me
something? Was
mafioso,
it
like the way he dressed, the way he walked, like, his mannerisms. He definitely wasn't giving lawyer. He was giving like had mob ties.
mm,
His swag, everything about him. You look at pictures of him and you look the way like he doesn't look like an LA person. He looks like a New York guy. Or at least like, what we see down in Arthur Avenue or Little Italy, like that's the vibes he was more so, impersonating.
yeah, because it's hard for me to tell because I've never heard David Kenner's voice.
Mm,
Like, in interviews, I've never heard him talk about his death row days. So I would assume that it's because his hands wasn't clean. So, and to talk means
you're
to
pretty
that he
smart.
would have to tell on himself
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
So moving right along to Pac getting out of prison.
Hmm.
Were you there the first day he got out? And if you were, take me through how you ended up in LA so soon after his release.
So I wasn't there when he got out. I was back in the city. I had gone to go get like his outfit, everything he wore that day. I purchased and picked out for him, and I had went home, and he was gonna go to LA, get everything situated, and that was the game plan. And then how did I get out? I mean, basically, like I told you, when first he called me and told me he Faith. No, first Stretch died first. Then when he called me and told me he Faith, that's when we had the conversation. And he was like, "I want to send for you. So like, when you're ready, like a couple days, a week, what do you need, to be ready to come out here?" So that's how all that went too.
I heard you say in an interview one time before that you and Pac were planning to have kids. Could you speak a little more to that? I understand that you two were going to name them Michelangelo and Star or something like that.
No. He wanted
No,
to
is that a
name his
rumor?
son Giovanni Supreme Shakur. And or if it was a girl, Giovanna Supreme, not Supreme, Sparkle Shakur. So
Oh wow. So why was he stuck on Johnny? Johnny, cuz in Italy that's like Johnny
Johnny, I don't
Versace.
know. That was just a name that he came up with. I don't know. He, that was
So like when you two would have conversations, like how would this fit in the midst of like him being engaged to Kadada and him still dealing with Keisha and
he was married to Keisha still while we were having those conversations. Kadada wasn't a factor.
oh,
Yeah, so
he was trying to trap you with a baby girl.
uh, he didn't have to trap me. I was already caught, but but yeah, that was his plans for when he came out. He wanted to have kids, not right away, but in the distant future. And I think that was around the time too. I guess he started realizing that things weren't going to work out between him and Keisha. Um, because she started putting her foot down and like she had enough. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I'm not going to do certain things. And no, like this is
Yeah.
getting out of hand. And when she started being like that, he started pulling away. And yeah, so he came to the realization that she wasn't going to, be a doormat and or that she wasn't going to do what he wanted, and that wasn't a part of the game plan probably upon entering their union. So
Yeah. Do you remember the rumor that Wendy Williams put out about Tupac getting raped in jail in real time, or was that just something that people
I
started to
remember
say
that
that
rumor.
Wendy put
Yes, I
out?
do. I surely do.
What was your reaction in real time to the rumor, and how did Tupac feel about it in real
Oh, he
time?
was tight. He was pissed because that didn't happen. He was in protect. He's like he was pissed. When I heard it, I hadn't spoken to him yet. I had sent the letter, and I didn't know what the hell to believe, but I didn't fully believe it. Like something in me was just like, I don't know about this. Like, it just, I just felt like it's not in the paper. It's not on the news. Like it's out Kiss FM. I don't know about that. Like, so I wasn't sure. And I was just hoping that that was a bold-faced lie, which it was. And thank God, because yeah, that'd have been horrific.
How do you feel about Wendy Williams today, 30 plus years later, and you read the headlines about her not no longer being in her right state of mind,
I feel bad for
and
her.
her husband cheating on her, and like the bank stealing her money,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for her. Um, I have no ill will towards her, and she started a trend of the tea, and people,
I love Wendy Williams, minus
yeah,
her saying it about my fave.
yeah. I didn't even know she was the one that started that rumor, but it sounds about right. But I feel bad to be at your most vulnerablest, and your husband to leave you, cheat on you, have a baby with somebody else, lose all your money that you worked hard for. Yeah, that ain't right. I don't wish that on nobody, not even my worst enemy.